Hi, folks. You are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Matt Metris in Rochester, New York.
Matt, and I have, let's put it this way, we're on hiatus right now. And I'm not talking about, the pandemic and that we're all on hiatus. No, actually, we're going to be tasting and dissecting Hiatus tequila. You folks may have seen this. It's a hot little brand on online on Instagram. They're very popular. It's clean bottle, very sharp. They have several decals on the bottle. That must be time consuming for the people that are putting this together.
Yeah, it reminds me of Jones's Soda. You know how they have those like pictures on the bottle there?
Oh yeah,
same kind of motif.
Yeah, it's they're as usual. We're gonna taste the juice first, then we'll give you all the stories. And there's not a whole lot of story, but there are stories off camera, but we won't go there. But we want to thank Jonathan Luna and the folks at Hiatus who made this possible. Thank you, guys. I know it's been a real pain in the neck to get these out to us. Mm-hmm. And the gentleman who's the I guess the brand manager. Jonathan Luna said, I'm going to send you my favorite of the three iterations. There's a Blanco, there's a Reposado, there's an Añejo. So we only received the Reposado, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. Especially considering I've been chasing him for like 2 years. But anyway, I'm going to use my Stossel Jarrito that is behind me. So I did break the seal on this one just off camera. So, oh, wow.
It's good pop, right? I got it right into the microphone.
So I'm going to pour mine in the jarrito and make sure I don't spill any on my on my keyboard like Matt did.
That's more my move, yeah, exactly. When we get it up here at an angle in the camera, here's when we knock it into the keyboard.
Yeah, that's when we. Now see, it looks a lot lighter. That's almost like a straw color.
Yeah, definitely.
Because in the bottle, let me cork my bottle here. It looks a lot darker, and I think it's because of all the labeling and stuff. It's a very clear bottle, but it's got a lot of black labeling on it, so it kind of gives that reflection that it's a lot darker than it really is. And so, just for the sake of transparency and clarity. The distillery is 1137. Now, don't be put off by that. That is La Cofradia. Recently, La Cofradia has gone under. I don't know why it's such a big deal, but there's a lot of controversy about maquiladoras. And I will tell you that I've been to La Cofradia. I can tell you that it is one of the more reputable distilleries that makes several contract brands for a lot of people. And there are a lot of winning brands coming out of that distillery. 512, Senor Rio, of course, Casa Noble, which is, now belongs to Constellation. And the controversial 818 Tequila by, what's her name, Jenner? Forget which Jenner it is. I'm not the one that's running not the one that wants to run for governor, okay? Not that one.
I'm not familiar with any celebrities that own tequila brands, so.
Yeah. Well, you're not. Oh, I almost bought that too. I was like, what?
Yeah, we see regular posts in our tequila communities that you can be a celebrity and not own a tequila brand. It's okay.
Exactly.
You're allowed to do that.
If you're watching, if you follow me on my personal Instagram, I actually have it's a meme that's been going around the internet, and they actually. The meme is the guy holding up the you don't have to be a celebrity and own a tequila, and he's got all the celebrities tagged on that one meme. It's like, oh boy, you're really asking for it. But then again, I reposted it, so what the hell?
Yeah, why not?
Beautiful Legs and Tears.
It took a minute for him though. It was sort of to get these tears going. It was sort of just adhering to the glass for a while.
Yeah, but it's very pretty, and they're thick. They're really clinging to that glass. They're not runny, and that's okay. I'm good either way, as long as there's something. There's a crown of a string of pearls around there, or legs and tears. Matt didn't get any of the information that I have. I have actually a small brochure, and I'll read you what, just very quickly.
Yeah, I got a hat instead.
But Matt got the hat, so I got the info. Matt got the tchotchke. These are rested 6 months in ex-American whiskey barrels. Ex-American, that sounds like they're an expatriate barrel. But anyway, I'm going to try and smell something. Let's see what. Oh, wow. Hey. Right on top, the nose. For those of you who have had enough of these tequilas coming out of Gnome 1137 out of La Cofradia, it's got that very distinctive 1137 stamp on it. For some reason, there's an underlying characteristic that I personally recognize, and I think a lot of people do. But it's really there. It's present. It's kind of like a combination of, for me, it's a combination of agave and wood.
I was going to say agave and caramel. You kind of get some of that sweetness, and you can smell the agave trying to break through from underneath.
Yeah, and it's very distinctive coming from 1137. I don't know what it is that I smell that every time, and it's really interesting because I'll smell it sometimes in the Blanco, sometimes in the Reposado from different brands that come out of there, but it's very distinctive. You can almost pick it out blind once you've had enough of these. You go, oh, that's 1137. I think Tres Mujeres was like that for a while. You could get there's a certain aromatic stamp that people could pick out. But I like it. It's once it's opening up, it's almost like a more citrusy on top now.
Okay.
Like an orange.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, orange. I'm getting more oak now. I wasn't getting a ton of oak in the beginning, but I can.
Yeah. You do get well, you just uncorked your bottle.
Yeah,
I mean, just now. So. Yeah. I think we should dive in. What do you think?
Let's do it. I get a tiny bit of ethanol right down the middle too. You get it.
Yeah. And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It just depends on. That's not a bad thing. I know it's maybe off-putting for some people, but if it's not burning your nose hairs, you're okay. All right, let's do it. Oh, wow. Wow. There's a lot. There's a ton of agave through here.
There really is, and it's not almost. It doesn't even taste completely Blue Weber traditional. When I first got it in my mouth, it reminded me of some mezcals that have other kind of flavor profiles going on. But it was and it moved from the agave for me at least into some wood, and then a little bit of spicy pepper on the finish. Yeah.
Now the finish, I'm getting like a short to medium. Now it's starting to feel a little bit longer, but at first it was a short to medium finish. And yeah, the pepper explosion happens at the rear of the palate.
Mm-hmm. It's also a lot thinner in the mouthfeel than I would have expected for how well the legs cling on to the side of the glass,
Yeah. Yeah, it's but you know what? I really like the fact that right at the entry it was agave. It wasn't sweet either. It felt almost like a baked. But I'm not sure what the process is for this particular tequila. If they're using, well, they're probably using autoclaves, because I don't think, as I recall, I'm don't quote me on this because I didn't see brick ovens at La Cofradia, but this was quite a while ago. It was about 20 years ago. So at this point, they could have them. I don't know.
The website does say that they're using a brick oven.
That's what okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what it tasted like. And that's why you mentioned the mezcal, because mezcal is the traditional ones are either pit roasted or using some kind of they have to be pit roasted. frankly. That's just the way it works. And it's almost like you're getting a wet cement, but not really. It's just a real
Hmm.
hearty agave. Um, and the wood, they're calling it ex whiskey barrels, but it's almost got a bourbon finish to it.
Yeah, it could, and if it's American whiskey, it could have been bourbon, and they just didn't say it.
Yeah. Well, it says ex-American oak barrels, so it has to be, either whiskey or bourbon, because by law you can only rest them one time in
Right.
one barrel. Then you get rid of them, and the secondary market is huge in the tequila market. Um, this is a lot hardier than it looks.
Mm-hmm.
The color was rather, like I said, it's rather pale. Um, but there's a lot going on, and it actually is almost agave forward, because that was
Yeah.
the first pass was just almost all agave, and then the wood doesn't even catch up till like mid palate.
Mm-hmm. I get a little bit of something. I want to say cinnamon, but it's not as sweet as a cinnamon on my tongue as it's after it's exited my mouth. I don't know if you're getting anything like that.
Maybe like a baked spice or something.
Yeah, it could be. It's not. When you think cinnamon, you think like super sweetish, or like, but it's more of that like the feeling in your mouth after you've had an atomic fireball. The super
Oh,
spicy cinnamon.
like a red hot.
Yeah, yeah.
This is really, really good. And the thing that surprises me is that there's a lot more body and character to it. You did say it was thin in the on the mouth, in the mouthfeel, but there's a lot going on there too,
Oh,
though.
absolutely, yeah.
It's not one-sided, and the nose, like I said, the nose 1137. I can pick it out blind, but again, let's give you the ins and outs on this. It's Hiatus tequila. They do have a Blanco, a Reposado, and an Añejo, and all three are actually award winners. I think at the San Francisco, I'm not sure if it's 2019 or 2020. Can't even tell here. But the Blanco got a silver, I think. The Repo is the one that got the gold, and the Añejo is considered 95 points at Wine Enthusiast. So,
Wow.
yeah, there are no slouches here. But yeah, the Repo I can see is a good. It's not having had the Blanco or the Añejo, but I can see where the Reposado is it's either sippable or mixable, because it's got a nice recipe in here too. I know Matt didn't get this, but supposedly it takes up to 8 years for agave to reach your glass. I'm assuming that is still the case um, with the agave coming from La Cofradia. And again, let's give you the ins and outs on this one. It's a hiatus, an interruption in time or continuity, a pause or break, especially a period when something such as a typical activity is interrupted. Well, you mean like 2020? Okay,
It's good timing.
yeah, good timing. Maybe that's why it's been doing so well.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
on hiatus from life. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the middle of his tax time, folks. So he took the time out from counting Bitcoin and money and whatever, just so he could drink tequila with me. Um, what else do we have on the bottle here? Because it says photography by Matt Moss and harvesting the agave in the afternoon sun in Jalisco. 1137. It's La Cofradia. This is considered kosher, by the way, and I know that's more important for some people than it's gluten free, because we all know that every tequila is gluten free. Um, Other than that, it's got a picture of that stone oven. So I guess they
Yes,
are, as you said, they are using it. Um,
I got some
and
more production info if you want to go over
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Uh,
please.
so they do highlight on their website that they're using 8-year mature agaves and not cutting corners by using younger fruit. We talked about the brick ovens, extraction through a unique screw extractor, which is not quite a roller mill, not quite a Tahona, something else. 4 to 6 days fermentation, double distilled in stainless tanks with copper coils, and then oxygenated for 24 hours.
Oxygenated. And I know that there are a lot of brands that are doing that too. They're just trying to get the Blanco to settle down, I think is what I think the ones from the Valley, from Matitan, are done that way as well. There's a few that actually take that time. For those of you who've seen pictures of La Cofradía, their fermentation tanks are stainless steel. So and they're huge, but again, they got a great facility. They know what they're doing. I think Carlos Hernandez is the plant manager there, who's been there forever. And lots of great brands come out of there. So there's nothing, it makes a lot of contract brands, but there are a lot of winning brands, a lot of award-winning brands come out of there. So they're doing something right. And so I have no qualms, with the maquiladora situation, especially if it's a very reputable one. If you look at the back of the bottle here, it's even got a picture of agave. Do you have that? The back of the label has, it's almost got that vodka bottle look to it, and it's got pictures of agave, like a black and white photo in the back.
Yeah, I did not even notice that.
Yeah, me neither. Just now when I put it up there, I thought, wow, there's a photo of agave in the back part of this label.
Sneak it in there with the lighting. You can kind of see it that way.
I'm not sure if they can check that out, but you know what? This is a solid tequila. Obviously, you can make cocktails with it. Obviously, it's a great sipper. I think it's bold enough. I think it's bold enough to be able to pair with a cigar, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the flavor profile will stand up.
And it's coming in, it looks like between $45 and $50, depending on where you're buying it.
You know what? Not bad.
Yeah.
I think considering, the quality that's in this bottle, 45 is reasonable.
Yeah.
What do you think? Brand of Promise nominee? You think we're gonna? Yeah.
So.
I would like to. Oh, you wrote it. You wrote it right this time.
It's right, and it's on the back of the Hiatus coupon.
The back of the Hiatus card. Okay. Hey, don't lose that card. That's a 10% off on your next order.
Yeah, I'll cover up the coupon code. The coupon code's underneath my finger.
Yep. There you go. Anyway, I wish we had the other ones to try out. The Blanco and the Reposado. I'd like to see what the beginning of what this juice begins like. Mm-hmm. Because from what I've noticed, I can always pick out the smell, the aroma of 1137, but the flavor is always something different. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know. Some people claim that you're just slapping a label on a bottle and you can, but they're not making it the same, folks. They can't be. Mm-hmm. With so many for years, so many different bottles of tequila that come out of different brands. And like I say, award-winning brands, and a lot of them stay. Sometimes you'll see a brand launch from one distillery and then move to another, and it's rare that you see any tequilas coming out of 1137 that actually move. So I think their relationship with the brand owners is pretty good. Anyway, nothing else to say about this baby, but I would like to have the other ones just so we can finally and maybe a ball cap. But, hey, you know what? If it wasn't for tequila companies, I wouldn't have a wardrobe. That's just plain and simple. So you just don't see them on me unless there are T-shirts, like say Tequila Aficionado T-shirts. But anyway, that's our take on Hiatus, Brand of Promise nominee. If you can find it, you've had it before, please tell us in the comments below. If you're watching us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, follow Matt on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, if you're, into Pinterest, because I am. And, listen to us on Spotify, and whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.